Guest says now is not the time to sit idle with Iran. Republican Congressman Ed Royce is the chairman of the House Committee on Foreign Affairs, which just wrapped up a hearing on this topic moments ago. Welcome to you, Congressman. Appreciate you being with us.
Thank you. It's good to be with you.
Okay, so we do know that the UN Nuclear Agency says he saw no radical change in Iran's nuclear program in the past 3 months, broadly covering the period since Hassan Rouhani became president. What more came out of the hearings this morning?
Well, what we do know is Iran continues to march forward, not only with its enrichment program for this nuclear capability, but they're also running a heavy water reactor program. They're in the process of trying to develop a plutonium weapon as well as the atom bomb that we're familiar with. And we also know that work goes on at a site in which they're trying to merge their capability for a warhead,
all right, so you want to see
on top of an ICBM. So yes, we want to see a freeze to this program.
Okay.
We don't want to see their program continue to accelerate.
And your reaction, you're quoted here, you believe the president is setting us up for what he's calling interim and reversible steps. So that's problematic.
Well, yes. I mean, the French called it a fool's game. The problem is that if we have an agreement where we lift sanctions and in the meantime they continue to enrich, the end result is that they're going to have more capability. What we should be doing is saying that our demand is that they stop their enrichment. Our demand is that they shut down their program. That's the logic of 6 separate UN Security Council resolutions demanding that they do that. That should be the U.S. position. I don't understand why it is not. And we should increase sanctions until they make that choice to compromise on their nuclear weapons program or to have the collapse that would occur to their economy because of the sanctions.
But what is your reaction
right
to the witness in the hearings this morning who said that the U.S. position on Iran has been weakened due to the way the U.S. handled Syria, to the debacle there?
Well, if we had handled things differently, we'd be in a stronger position. But also, if we take the legislation that I authored that passed out of the House with 400 votes, which would put total sanctions on the economy in Iran, that bill right now is in the Senate. If we brought that up and passed that on to the president's desk, then we would truly be back in a very, very strong position.
So
there's a way to reassert ourselves.
Why do you think the president is being so soft on Iran, Congressman?
Well, I think it's the zeal for the deal, right? He's anxious to cut a deal with Iran. But to get there, you have to be a harder negotiator. You have to give them a tougher choice. And that choice has to be, look, you think $600 billion in capital flight out of your economy is bad? That's why they're at the table right now.
Okay, so what's the next step? Where do we go from here?
The next step is to block repatriation of earnings back into the country, block their ability to export their automobiles, block, their ability on gold to double down, and cut off their ability to sell oil in markets around the world. And we do all of that in the legislation we've got over in the Senate. Bipartisan, 400 votes in the House for it.
Congressman Ed Royce, thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.
Detroit